By the light of the sun, by the depth of the moon, by the flame of the wand, by the pentacle of earth, I call upon the guides of wisdom, the ancestors of the craft, and the holy guardian angel. Guide us now through the stations of the dove and serpent. Reveal what is hidden, that we may transform it into light. Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Today we walk the path of the Dove and Serpent spread, an 11-fold journey of transformation. Each position reveals a unique aspect of your journey, alternating between the essence of your being and the events that shape your destiny. Remember to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And oh boy, 10 of Pentacles. This is a card of wealth, right? This is the card of the picture of your best life. It's position 1. It's the station. It's your character. It's your sense of self. This is your essential personality. This is what might be preoccupying you right now. I feel like you're in what's on your mind, what's sort of, kind of like what you see when you close your eyes is you see your goals. You see your best life. You have this vision. I feel like you're always kind of visualizing the life you want. This card is the vision, the picture of our best life. I would tell you to get out a sheet of paper, get out a pencil, draw a picture of your best life, but you've already done that. You have the poster on your wall. You've got the photograph in your wallet or purse. You've got the image burned into your brain and written on your heart. You've got the vision board. You've got the whiteboard or something, right? You already know. You already know the details of what you want in life. You know what your best life is, right? So this is kind of like this is what we're really identified with. That we are kind of in service to these goals, whatever they are. This is the card of wealth, remember. It's not just money. No. Money is only one part of it. Really, money is only the final coin at the very bottom. It's everything else in life that you want. It is your pets, your plants, your people, right? Your relationships. It is your experience of life, the depth, the richness. You want a full and rich life. Rich in every way. The things that really mean something to you. You want your health. You want your wealth, you want your fitness, your finances, okay? But you also want that, like being fit and financially sound are the tools. Those are the qualities we want to have so that we can live the life we want to live, right? What's the use of being happy or healthy or having money if you're not doing anything with it? If you're not sharing it with other people, if you're not out there living life, I want to be healthy because I want to go play with my daughter. I want to see her grow up. I want to have a future with her when I'm out there doing stuff, and with my wife too, right? My wife especially, she's been on a real health kick lately, right? And she inspires me. She does tea leaf readings over at Ula Tea Leaf Readings. You should go check out her channel. But it's an inspiration, right? And it motivates me to want to be healthier too, so that I can continue to enjoy life with my family for as long as I can. As long as I'm allowed to remain on this earth, And so we have to ask, what's driving us now? What is motivating us? Why do we want to acquire the things in life we want to acquire? Why do we have goals? Right? Just to have them? Just for something to do? Or do we have goals because those goals are going to allow us to live the life we want, to be happy? Otherwise, these become empty pentacles. These become empty shells. We need to have the meaning and the purpose here, right? So we're kind of asking these questions, like what's driving me? Where's my attention fixed? And how does this vision of my best life shape the experience I have of the world? Am I enjoying the journey to these goals? Am I enjoying the process, right? Is it a struggle? Yeah, probably. Any kind of goal is going to have some ups and downs and some twists and turns, Let's put this card into a little bit of context, yeah? Let's put the rest of our cards on the table. We have the Six of Wands. Very good. And the Magician. And the Pressure Cooker, the Art or Temperance card. We have a Two of Swords. We have the Sun card. Indeed. Indeed. Four of Wands, a Queen of Cups, there's that Devil card, and the Four of Pentacles. This is big. This is really, really big. Spirit is telling you, red alert, act fast. There's a battle right now that you're going to win. There's something that we need to get out and go do. When we're asking these questions like, what's motivating me? Why am I doing these things? You know, why do I have goals anyway, right? You know why you have them, right? We got this Sun card in the future position. Right now, this is position 2. This is the battle. Reveals your personal task or quest. Your field of conflict, the challenge, right, is for you to win something right now. There's a challenge in front of you today that you need to be victorious over. This is the card of victory after struggle. Okay? Victory after struggle. Of course, the struggle is the pressure cooker. We feel like we've been on the blacksmith's anvil for a long time. And Spirit's telling you, today's the day. This is the day where we get that win. We get that victory that sort of builds up our confidence, reminds us, oh yeah, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm doing that. You know, we're connected with it. Like, again, it's kind of like, why do I want to be healthy? And why do I want to be, why do I want to be financially stable, right? Because I want to spend time with my family. I want to be able to continue doing this work here on this channel. I want to continue to experience all of the wealth of life. You know, my pets, my plants, my people. You're my people too, right? And this is my work, and this is my passion, and spending time with my family, and my creative work, my spiritual work. I want to continue doing all of these things, yeah? And so that is what motivates us right now today to get up and fight and conquer the day. This is an everyday win, but it's the big one, because it gives us it gives us more of that confidence that if I can get up today and I can do the things that I set out to do, the things that are going to lead me to my goals, and that's a win. If I get up and I come here and I do these readings, that's a win. If I get up and I make healthy choices for what I put into my body, and I move my body in some way, I get some kind of exercise, that's a win, because that's bringing me closer to my goal. Spirit wants you to act fast, because it feels like you are, I don't know, it kind of feels as if there's some fluctuating emotions going on right now for you. But anyway, the battle, right? This is illuminating to you where you have to fight and grow and transform. There is something on your plate right now that you need to tackle it. You need to act now and get it done, whatever it is. Do the thing. Maybe you've been procrastinating. Maybe we're kind of coming out of that pressure cooker thing, and it's too much. It's too hot in there, right? I'm in the kitchen. It's too much. My back hurt. My feet hurt. It's hot. I'm sweaty, right? I'm covered in I don't know, grease and whatever. Spirit's saying, do it. Fight that battle. This is something that you need to fight because it's teaching you who you are. It's showing you what you're capable of, and it's reminding you what you're fighting for. Okay? And it's kind of reminding you like that it's worth it, So there's some kind of a conflict or a challenge right now that is requiring you to step up to the plate. And this is it's calling for your courage. It's calling for you to fight and be victorious over this day, or something that you've been putting off, or something that's unresolved, or something that's testing you. Yeah. So there's something and it may be a competition with other people. It may be kind of just a competition with yourself. It may be we're fighting against the comfort of our bed, the warm bed that we slept in last night, fighting against that. So Spirit really wants us to act quickly. And because the longer we linger, the more we give space for our mind, our ego, to convince us not to do something. So this is about meeting the battle head on, facing the challenge, and conquering it. Okay? Sometimes this is the card of teamwork sometimes, right? So I kind of wonder if there is. I don't see a lot of court cards here. We got the one court card. What I almost forgot was the mystery card. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor Infinite. and unknown. I got so wrapped up in these beautiful cards that I almost forgot about Tiny Bob Ross right there on top. Now, we're not going to look at that happy little card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation at the end of the reading, okay? If you have a prediction at any point during this message, please put it in the comments down below. Let's use our intuition. And now let's look around the room because we see major arcana energies. 4 majors. We got fire. We got water. We got a little bit of air, and we got some good earth cards. Okay, so the major arcana really are kind of, telling a story here. This is your inner magician. This is you, right? Your essential self in the pressure cooker, on the blacksmith's anvil, right? Being molded and shaped in the person that you need to become in order to live the life you want to live. We have a temptation. And we have a fear and a worry and concern, and that's the devil card. Maybe we're sort of, and we'll get to that card in due time, but it's kind of it's asking us the question, like, what is motivating us? Are we motivated by the right stuff? If we're motivated just for physical or financial goal only, we're going to find it to be empty. We are motivated by what our physical and financial goals can do for us. I'm motivated by what's beyond the physical and financial goals. Why do I want that physical and financial health? So I can live my life, right? So I can enjoy, so I can fulfill my destiny, my nature. So it's the means to the end. If we're pursuing those material things for their own sake, we will find a disappointment. We will not find a fulfillment. It'll be empty shells. So we're understanding why we're fighting, And when we understand that this isn't just about, I just got to go make the money to pay the bills, to buy the house, and and put the food in the refrigerator. That why do we want food in the refrigerator? Why do we want the house? Why do we want the space? Why do we want the vehicle? Right, so we can go out and live life. It's the means to the end, anyway. Right. So anyway, we talked about our challenge. Okay, this is kind of there is something on your plate right now that is making you look at how you're responding to it. Where are you being called right now to change, to be courageous, to conquer? Where do you need to be victorious in your life right now? Okay, that's what we're sort of dealing with this card. The next card under the surface is that magician. It's position 3. It's the soul. It's your unconscious drive, maybe. It's your private self. It is the landscape, the inner landscape beneath the persona. Well, sometimes this is the card of the persona, right? It's the magician. This is the card of feelings and memories. This is kind of like, this is asking us in a way, like, what face are we putting on today? What persona am I going to put on? What face am I going to wear? When I get up and dress for the day, what suit am I putting on? This is the card that kind of says I'm suiting up and I'm showing up. Okay. And this is kind of like our inner attitude. This is kind of this is who we really are. And we're the magician. And the tarot, I got to say it every time, really. The tarot is always trying to remind you that you are the magician. Sometimes we feel like the fool. Sometimes we are the magician. But we all are magic. Okay? We're all performing magic. We're all creating ourselves and creating our reality. Some of us don't realize that. Okay, some of us are going through life as the fool, not really acknowledging that we're doing magic. Some of us are doing magic, but not doing it so well. We're all doing it. We're all doing magic. We're all performing that function of life, creating ourselves and creating our destiny. Might as well try to do it well. Yeah. And that's what we're doing now. We're realizing that I've got to acknowledge this inner magician, and I have to understand, like, what desires, attitudes, and feelings do I need in order to shape my destiny? How do I honor the mystery within? How do I honor my true essential nature? How do I live the authentic life? I've got to understand what my motivations are, what my goals are, why those goals are what they are. The goal isn't to be healthy and have money. The goal is to, beyond that, to live your life, to spend time with your kids or your family, or to do the things that you want to do in life, what you will do with the health and the wealth. That's the real goal, right? So we have to recognize that and honor that, but we have to ask, who do I need to become in order to do these things? You know, I can't be the lazy person. I got to be the person that gets up out of bed. I got to be the person that, you know, isn't like, oh, I'm too tired to exercise. I got to be the person that exercises even when I'm tired. Okay. So this is that card of the persona, and it's kind of like when we look within ourselves under the surface, we have to ask, like, what version of me is getting up out of bed today? You know, which version of me is acting now and is going to achieve this win and is going to respond to this red alert. You know, Spirit is saying we have to act fast and we have to do it. It's kind of like, you know, you're a firefighter and you're getting you know, the alarm's going off in the firehouse. You got to spring out of bed and get to it, and not say, oh, I'm too tired and I'm sore. I didn't get much sleep last night. You know, can somebody else go put out the fire? No, it's us. I don't know if it means there's a fire in your life, you know, metaphorically speaking. But we're sort of asking, like, what version of me am I right now? Okay? And is this the right version of me? Do I need to be a different version of myself? Because we're always wearing a mask. You know, we always have this persona. And, you know, it's interesting, too, that the sun is basically the magician without the persona. This is our true essential self, right? This is the mask that we have to wear in order to accomplish the goals so that we can live our authentic life, so that we can be our true selves. We have to be able to put on the mask, you know. The position 4 is the dwarf position. It's an event. It uncovers some past influences. This is the inertial drag, the event or pattern that is kind of holding you back, or that's shaping your current situation. It's kind of like, well, this is literally the card that shapes you. This is saying that every pressure cooker is changing our structure a little bit, rearranging our face, you know, so to speak. It's the blacksmith's anvil. Every situation, every event, every challenge that we meet with life, even if it's just the challenge of getting up out of bed at night, is changing who we are, or in the morning, or maybe you work the graveyard shift, I don't know. Every time we have a win, every time we have a battle, I guess, whether we win or lose, every time we face a challenge, it's changing us, for better or for worse, okay? Pretty much every moment of life, every decision we make is us being hammered by the blacksmith's anvil, and we're changing shape. If I continually say no and I stay in bed, every time I do that, every time I refuse to get up and face life and I end up staying in bed, that's a blow of the blacksmith's hammer coming down on me, changing me into a shape that I don't really want to be in. I mean, literally changing my shape, you know. So we're trying to make decisions that are going to shape us and mold us in the way that we want to grow. Yeah. Because life is going to continue to hammer us. And so it's kind of like if we make the decision to stay in bed, right? If we do that once, we're more likely to do it again. We do it twice, we're twice as likely, you know? And so it's sort of exponential. The more times we refuse the call and we stay in bed, the more easy it's going to be for us to stay in bed next time. Or we sort of get into that bad habit, right? And that sort of is creating our persona. And then before we know it, we say, wait a minute, now I'm the person that can't wake up in the morning. I can't get up to the alarm clock. I'm the person that groans and says, I don't want to get out of bed. Wait a minute, I don't want to be that person. So what do we have to do? Well, we have to go back into the pressure cooker. We have to get back on the blacksmith's anvil and set the alarm. When the alarm goes off, we force ourselves to get up. Okay, we did it once. It's going to be a little bit easier to do it again. The next morning, the alarm goes off, we get up. Now we're twice as likely to do it again. And then it becomes easier and easier. And so we're reshaping ourselves. We're rearranging our energetic profile into a more desirable shape, you see. And that's the essence of this temperance card. That how are we molding ourselves? What are we turning ourselves into? You know, because the blacksmith's anvil is really changing the shape of the persona. It's not changing your essential nature, but it's changing the masks that we wear, the person that we become, our personality. And our personality then sort of determines our personal reality. You see? So this is, these are things that happened in the past that have made you who you are today. And I think that if we look at this correctly, we'll see that every moment is an opportunity for a victory. That every moment is a chance for us to change our shape into who we need to become in order to get our goals and live our life and have this kind of freedom or whatever it is, right? So we understand how our actions here, the choices we make when we're in the pressure cooker, when we're on the blacksmith's anvil, when we're facing the challenges of life, are going to determine what kind of life we have, because it determines our character, and our character determines more of the events of our life. Okay? And so failures here, failure to step up, failure to act, failure to, get up when the alarm goes off, is limiting our freedom in the sense that it's making it less likely or making it more difficult for me to get the goals that I need to reach in order to live my authentic life, to be free of the constraints, right? So we're going to go up here to position 5. This is the position called the giant. It's a character. It's our dominant motivation. It's our personal virtue right now that is propelling us forward. It's the idea that we have a choice, that we're not just a feather in the wind right now, that we're not lacking in agency or autonomy, that we have personal virtue, and we have the ability to choose. The Two of Swords. It's a choice. It's a decision card. Okay? It shows that there are maybe two different ideas. Half of my mind wants to stay in bed. Half of my mind wants to get up and face the day and get the win, face the challenge, get the victory, right? And obviously, which one do I want to do? Do I want the victory or do I want the defeat today? And that's simple. That's the choice we have. It's not saying that it's easy, but it's saying to make the right choice, then we have to follow through with the right actions. And so we realize that to make the right choices requires certain strengths, certain virtues. I've got to become the person that makes positive, healthy, productive, whatever kind of decisions. And I'm not saying staying in bed is wrong, right? But I'm saying if we stay in bed more often than we get up out of bed and do what we need to do, then we're sort of creating a certain life by those choices, and that's just a metaphor, right? It's kind of a metaphor for like not showing up. Yeah. And so with the Two of Swords, we realize that we have to show up. And to get to your goals now, what qualities, what strengths are you ready to embrace? How do you harness your decision-making agency in order to manifest the destiny, to manifest the reality that is yours? It's all about choices, okay? And thinking about, again, with the Two of Swords, the longer we think about it, the less likely we are to act. So it's kind of like, that's why Spirit is saying, red alert, act fast. When the alarm goes off, you get up. The longer you stay in bed and sort of think about it, well, maybe I'll just snooze it for a minute, or, well, maybe I can sleep for 5 more minutes. Well, maybe I don't have to really get up that early today. Maybe I can sleep in a little bit. Maybe I can just push all this work till tomorrow, And pretty soon 10 minutes have gone by, and we could have been up and already checking things off our list, right? And I feel like all this is to say that you are making those decisions, that you are stepping up, that the alarm goes off and you're out of bed, you're conquering the day. You have 10 wins before most people even get out of bed, okay? And position 6 reveals your next step. This is the imago. This is the event of the future, the consequences of your actions, the shape of things to come. You're accomplishing these material goals in order to live your authentic life and have this kind of freedom, so that your light can shine, so that you can do pretty much whatever you want to do in life. Okay? This is the reason. This is what's guiding you forward. This is your unfolding journey, right? This is what we're traveling toward. This is a card of freedom. This is a card of success and wealth and health, like physical, financial and physical health and wealth, so that we can live the authentic life, so that we can shine our light, that we can do the things in life that we want to do, that are expressive of our nature. It's kind of like, yeah, I put on the uniform and the boots, and I go out and I do my best to win at life, so that I can come home and take off the work clothes and exist in my life as a radiant sun, doing the things that I do that my soul is really the purpose, why I'm here. And, so I really feel that it's kind of like, the reason why we put on the mask, the persona, and go out into life is to make the progress in whatever area. I don't know if this is work for you, if this is other thing, maybe it's the physical stuff. Maybe you're building something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter what it is. What matters is how you're doing it and why you're doing it. And why you're doing it is so that you can live a life of freedom of expression, freedom of movement, free to be yourself, right? Where we can remove as many of the blockages to our true light and radiance as possible. The more pure, the better we become at being the magician, the more of our true nature and our true light will shine out into the world. Because we will have removed as many of the blockages to our authenticity as we can. So this is that card of authenticity. And this goal here is sort of saying, well, what choices are you making that will lead you to this goal? Well, I think you're making the right choices. You're making the choice to act fast, to not hesitate, to think, to have a sense of urgency in your step. That when that alarm goes off in the morning, you're up and you're getting things done. Because you're going to get to those, you're going to accomplish your goals, and you're going to live your life. Right? This is the life that you seek. And you're making the right choices so that you can live that life. See, this is kind of, you're up here, you're playing. Whatever your real purpose is, this is that success. The goal isn't the physical health or physical wealth. The goal is why you want the physical health and the physical wealth. Right? And that's the Sun card. Now, Path of the Serpent, we're going to talk about these cards. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, your persona, the 7th position. This shows your public mask, the social face that you wear. This is the persona that we're sort of we're showing the rest of the world. This is the face that the public sees, right? This is your mask on the larger theater of life. It's the 4 of Wands. It's a card of completion. This is how others see you. This is your public identity. You're someone that gets things done. People see you as somebody who is checking things off the list. People see you as somebody who, the alarm goes off, you're up and at 'em. You've got 10 things checked off your to-do list before most people even open their eyes in the morning. Right? People see you as somebody that gets things done, checking things off the list. I've had 100 wins today before lunch, and I think it's motivation. You're motivated by this life that you want to live. You're not just pursuing, money, or you're not pursuing, physical health just for its own sake, but because they offer you the means to live the life you want to live. And so people see you as somebody that really gets things done. I think this is a persona that really fits, and it really works, right? Because this is kind of like, it's a cycle. It's repetition. It's our ability to replicate something. Alarm goes off, I get up, I get the win. Do that again tomorrow. And the more we do it, the easier it becomes, and it goes around and around and around. And this circle is really a spiral. Those daily habits, those daily tasks, the wins, the sense of urgency. You're not someone that's just, I'm getting out of bed, I guess I'll go and do my life, You're somebody that feels motivated to do that. It's like you feel inspired. This is the more we do something, the more we put in that, it's like that sense of urgency where we feel like something's important enough that it deserves my attention, and it deserves me to be wide awake. You know, we're not like half-assing things, you know. You're fully there and you're doing it and you're getting stuff done. You're facing life head on. And we're checking things off the list. And every time we do is a win. And every time we do it, it gets easier to do it. Winners tend to win more, right? Losers tend to lose more because we get into those grooves. Habit, right? Habit, the slave of habit, yeah? And so I feel like you've established these habits, these very positive and healthy habits of getting up and facing the day. Doesn't mean you're always perfect. Doesn't mean we always win. But we're making it more likely that we'll reach our goals because we want to live the life we want to live. And we're getting motivated. And every time we face life, it's just kind of, you know, every time we check something off of our list, it gets easier next time around to do that same thing. So really, it's repetition creates habit, and habit creates success. And success creates this authentic solar radiance that says you can live the life that you want to live, right? Whatever this means. It doesn't just have to be we're after money, whatever success is for you. This is the reason why we're living the physical life, doing our physical tasks or physical jobs, is for this authentic life. Okay, so it doesn't have to be money or whatever. It's just whatever you're doing, it's how and why we're doing it. And I think we're doing it great. And this persona, this mask that you're wearing really does serve your highest truth right now. So I think this fits nicely. The next position is the shadow position. Sometimes there are hidden events or influences in the environment, circumstances that test you, right? By stirring up something deep within you, some kind of a deeper emotional nature here. It's the Queen of Cups. It's really deep waters. Something is going on in your life right now that is really hitting you hard. Okay? And it feels like something is really asking you to step up right now, because it's something that it's not just the easy surface level stuff. It's something deeper. Okay? Something that might be an existential kind of fear for you. And I wonder if it kind of has to do with it maybe is like we're suddenly stopped in our tracks because we're like maybe wondering, why am I pursuing the goals I'm pursuing? Because again, I'm kind of talking about the motivation, like why do we have the goals we have? And maybe this is a gut check, you know, to kind of say like, you know, am I really pursuing these things for that higher life? Or have I devolved and I'm pursuing money just for money? You know, and so it's kind of like, oh God, you know, it kind of like makes you feel clammy, like your hands get sweaty and like your heart starts racing. It's almost we're having a panic attack because we're wondering like, oh my God, like what am I doing? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And I think we're kind of checking in with our emotions here. Yeah. But I do feel like there's something going on in your external life, something about a relationship with somebody, maybe an older female energy. And it may be like us wondering, like, is it worth me doing all this work for the sake of living my life, but doing all of this work is sort of taking me away from my life? You know, I have that dilemma personally. And I don't like to talk about myself too much, but since you asked, you know, I have a 5-year-old daughter, right? And I want to work as hard as I can. I want to show up every day and do what needs to be done and face life head on, just like you do, in order to succeed at certain things, to be healthy, to have some sort of financial stability, so that I can have my life with her. I can be around as long as I can be with my family. We can do things together and we can enjoy life. But sometimes I'll get this sudden gut punch of fear that says, oh my God, the goals that I have that are supposed to serve this higher purpose, maybe they've eclipsed that higher purpose. Now, am I pursuing this health and success just for its own sake? Because it's kind of taking time away from me spending time with my daughter anyway. The more I work, the less time I have to spend time with her. You know? So it's kind of like we have this weird paradox, that I'm working so much so that I can, you know, build up the life that we want so I can spend time with her, but then doing the work is taking time away. But if I didn't do the work, then where would we be, you know? And so it's a weird kind of thing. So I feel like there's somebody in your life that it's kind of like it's making you really look inside and face that fear, right? That it might be someone that you care about so much that is sort of pushing you to be the best version of yourself, even as it's challenging, even as we know that the work we're doing is taking us away from really being with our family. You know, I think anybody who's ever had a job knows what I mean. You want to live the life you want to live, but you got to go to work first, you know? And so it's kind of like I'm doing what I do in service of my family, but it's taking time away from my family. And that's heart-wrenching, right? So I feel like there's somebody in your life that is bringing out those kinds of like almost the fear, right? Because I think you're being very successful in your life. You are growing, and I think you are inspired by whoever this other person is in your life. And maybe it's just generally a family thing. Maybe this is the Queen of Cups is asking us the question, like, what is it in our life that is inspiring us to keep doing this work, to keep succeeding, fire and earth, right? To keep manifesting this best life, or these resources, or the physical health, physical wealth kind of thing, right? What is it that is inspiring us? What is it out there in our world, our relationships, our environment, that we want to have that authentic life with or for, okay? Position 9 is the specter, shows the fear, worry, concerns, the hidden anxieties, the parts that maybe challenge our growth. Because now this feels like the temptation. This feels like a very material card. It feels like, oh my gosh, has my pursuit of material success, health and wealth, fitness and finances, has that pursuit eclipsed what I really cared about? Have I forgotten the why? Have I started to confuse the means with the end? Because this is a very materialistic card. This is a card that says, I'm selfish, I want to climb to the top of the mountain, I'm greedy, I just want all the money, I want all the success, I want to be the strongest just for my own sake, for ego gratification. And it might be that's your fear, that you want to always remember that you're climbing this mountain in order to create a better life, to improve the quality of life, to alleviate suffering for yourself and others around you, your loved ones, not for its own sake. Okay? Now, this is different than us saying that I want to enjoy the journey, you know, because I think we have to have that balance. We have to realize that, you know, we should enjoy the journey. It's okay for you to feel good and to feel the win, right? When you accomplish a goal, it's good for you to feel that in yourself, in your human nature, to say, yeah, I did it. And it feels good to accomplish goals and to be getting paid, or to be getting healthier, and to like reach the milestones. And it feels good just for its own sake, yeah. But at the same time, we don't want to forget why. We don't want to become a slave to the material world. We want to relish the material world, sure. Get the money. Spend the money, you know, treat yourself well, treat your family well, but remember why you're doing it. We don't want to get lost in the material world. We need to be in the world, right? And succeeding, conquering, getting to the top of the mountain, enjoying the ride. But we want to remember why we're doing that as well, right? So it's kind of a balance. But I think the fear is that we're going to lose the heart, and we're going to end up just chasing those material goals. And that when we get to the top, we're going to find them to be empty. Like I said, if we don't remember the purpose, the why, then when we get to the top of the mountain, it's going to feel lonely, you know? And so this is that kind of inner dread. This is what we have to face in order to really step into our power. We don't want to become the materialist, right? And so we have to face this fear and realize that, okay, I need to be in the world, doing worldly things, getting the money, getting healthy, having goals, participating in that kind of life. But I don't want to get lost in that. I don't want to become that. We can be in the world, but not of the world. Yeah. The final card here is the Four of Pentacles, shows the final outcome of the journey, the projected culmination of your quest, and the external events that shape your transformation. We're reaching earthly power. This is the Sun in Capricorn. Strong Capricorn references here with the Devil card and the Sun in Capricorn. Right, these are the external events that shape your transformation. So it really is about the Four of Wands and the Four of Pentacles, fire and earth. Who are we becoming by the choices that we're making? By these wins, by these challenges that we face. Who are we becoming? And so now it kind of takes that one step further. By accomplishing your goals, by facing the challenge of life in the material world and having a win, who are you becoming? Are you becoming the devil? Or are you becoming the radiant sun? Are you becoming your true authentic self? Or are you becoming the greedy materialist? You know? So it really is kind of saying like we realize that we're establishing like the more I win, the more I'm likely to win again. The more I wake up in the morning and face life, the more likely I'm going to do it again. How does that affect us over time? Right? By having goals and conquering and winning and achieving something, am I becoming someone who's more and more focused on the material goals? Am I becoming like a workaholic and I'm not spending time with my family? Have my priorities shifted and I'm more into the material success and I forgot why I'm doing it? I forgot what was supposed to be beyond the material goals? Okay. So we have to understand who we want to become and we have to align our actions in order to fulfill this destiny. Okay? This is the card of material power, right? So material wealth, it's about like having resources. It's kind of that financial security or that physical health that we wanted. We have to realize that this is not really the goal, but this is the means to the goal. This is like what we wanted to acquire on this journey so that we can do the life we want to do, be the person we want to be, and do the things, you know. This is not the goal itself. But it is reminding us that the acquisition of resources and wealth and health and prosperity, having goals and meeting those goals is very important, but this then has to be mobilized. Anytime we get a 4, we start looking for the 5. So this is not the end in itself, but this is the earthly power, right, that we need in order to live the life that we want to live. Let's look at the mystery card, position 11. This is the position of the guide. Okay. This reveals your higher self, your inner teacher, and your deepest wisdom. It shows the character, qualities that we have to develop in order to walk the path ahead. So this might be another 4 of Pentacles or a 5 of Pentacles, right? I feel like it's going to be an active card. It's got to be, you know, an ace, a 3, 5, 7, 9. Right? It's got to be an odd number. Yeah. Might be the Lover's card. You know, it might be an Ace of Cups, you know, perhaps. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. It's the 6 of Swords. Okay. This is science. This is us kind of realizing that there's the plan, you know. The message here, your higher self is saying, look, there has to be a plan. We're not just chasing material things for material things. There's a bigger picture. There's a larger journey here, okay? It's not just about who can get the most money or who can be the healthiest person. Those are the means, right? Those are just the materials that we use to build the life we really want to live. So the 6 is all about having a divine plan. It's having there be a blueprint, okay? Otherwise, we get lost in the material world and we're just chasing material things, and before we know it, we're 120 years old, and that's, you know, that's the end, time for the dirt nap. We have a plan. So it's kind of like saying we have to organize. We could say like, look, I want to work as hard as I can, as many hours as I can for the next 20 or 30 years or whatever, but then I have an exit plan. I have like a game plan here. I'm trying to set up certain things so that we can, it's kind of, you know, it's having some sort of order or structure to it. Being organized and having a plan, right? And I think that's very important, especially for your loved ones, for them to know that you're not just lost in the material world, playing that material game, getting the money, getting the wins, but there's a reason behind all of it. That there's a bigger picture here. And it might be that we're sort of planning for the future. We're saying, look, this is going to be maybe for the next few years, it's going to have to be all this overtime or something, right? But then, I have goals set up. I have milestones. It's kind of like, first I want to get out of debt, and buy a house, and save a little bit of money, and then things can slow down a little bit. But the problem is when we get to that point, when we were supposed to have, the slowdown or the shift or, the other part of the plan, now the next phase of the plan, the devil card might have us not want to slow down. I'm just going to keep going. I've acquired this much wealth. I might as well keep doing it, right? It's like we've been working overtime to save up for a vacation, but then once we get the vacation money, we just keep working the overtime and just piling up more and more and more money. We never take the vacation. Like, what? So this might be that card that says when we reach the goal, we have to then go on to the next phase of the plan and not get stuck or obsessed or greedy in that first phase. Does that make sense? This is sometimes the card of the journey, of the vacation, But it does say that there's a bigger plan, and for you not to forget the bigger plan. Yeah, because we don't want to realize that biggest fear of that devil card. All right. Now, please let the lessons of these 11 stations settle into your heart. Each card is a mirror. Each station is a temple of transformation, alternating between who you are and the world that you're creating, who you're becoming, and how the world is becoming. And remember that the tarot does not dictate your future. It reveals the patterns of possibility. It invites you to co-create your destiny. If this reading has illuminated your path, please share your reflections down below in the comments. Together we journey onward, ever upward, and ever inward. And we're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner. There's a link down below in the video description. New readings for Gemini on Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.